3 months after my wife brought the child home, I found lubricant in her bag. I didn't argue or make a scene, but secretly replaced the lubricant with super glue. In the middle of the night, my wife and the student who sponsored me were both admitted to the hospital. 1. Looking at the bottle with fancy packaging in front of me, I felt like I was falling into an icy cave and my body couldn't stop shaking. I held it and confirmed it again and again, hoping that it was not real, but the result scanned on the phone was so cold. It is a strong product, not cheap, and I have opened it and used it. It has a light chrysanthemum scent. Zhang Jianyue and I have been in love for more than 10 years and have been married for 7 years. Although we have no children, we have never quarreled, and she has indeed fulfilled her responsibilities as a good wife. I have been in business for 10 years, from a small studio with a few people to a group with thousands of people now. She has always taken care of my daily life with all her heart and is recognized by everyone as a good wife and a good president's wife. But in the face of the ironclad facts, I have to admit it. Zhang Jianyue, she cheated. I've been with her for more than 10 years, and I've never been this crazy. While she was taking a shower, I opened her bag with trembling hands, which contained some daily necessities and a mobile phone. I opened my phone and skillfully entered my birthday password. Surprisingly, it unlocked directly. I clicked on WeChat with some confusion. I was the pinned person at the top of the list, with the note husband. Then I scrolled down and saw that they were all normal chats between my best friends. In addition to transferring money to her parents every now and then, there were sums of 5,000, 10,000, and the largest amount was 100,000. If it were in the past, I wouldn't care. After all, she is my good wife and this little money is just a drop in the bucket for me. But now, I still take a careful look and take a picture of the transfer record. Did I guess wrong? I was a little confused because Zhang Jianyue's phone was too normal and I couldn't find any trace at all. No, why is the name of the sponsored student not included? I soon discovered something was wrong. The sponsored student Zhao Xiaoqian was recommended by Zhang Jianyue 3 years ago. He comes from a poor family and studies hard. Zhang Jianyue proposed to provide him with one-on-one funding. I agreed at the time and gave Zhang Jianyue a fixed sum of money every month, letting her be fully responsible for this matter. But there is no name Zhao Xiaoqian in her WeChat, which is obviously abnormal. I suddenly remembered that 3 months ago, Zhang Jianyue proposed to bring Zhao Xiaoqian to live with her home, because Zhao Xiaoqian had just graduated from college, had not found a job yet, and had no money to rent a house. I agreed immediately because Zhao Xiaoqian would come to our villa regularly to sweep the floor and cook for us. Now it seems that all this was probably premeditated. I sneered and finally found a mobile phone that I had never seen before in the compartment of my bag. I entered my birthday and it didn't open. I entered Zhang Jianyue's birthday, but it didn't open either. Finally, Zhao Xiaoqian's birthday was entered. Sure enough, the unlocking was successful. My heart skipped a beat and my trembling fingers couldn't help but open WeChat. There is only one person in WeChat, and his name is marked Kiss Baby. The chat records inside made me feel like I was falling into an ice cave. 2. January 1st was the day Zhang Jianyue brought her sponsored student Zhao Xiaoqian back to live with her. Sister, I can finally be with you. It's so nice to see you every day. Ah Chong, me too. When you come back, go to the drugstore and bring back a bottle of something. Sister, will we be discovered if we do this? Brother Lin is in the room upstairs, horrified face. Don't worry about him, he's sleeping like a dead pig. February 14th, Valentine's Day. Zhang Jianyue and I took couple photos and had a candlelight dinner. Ah Chong, when will you be home? I really can't stand his big belly. It makes me sick. You are prettier than me. Sister, you didn't accompany me today, grievance face. I'm going on a business trip in 2 days, please come with me. Okay. February 20th. Sister, when will Brother Lin go on a business trip? I miss you so much. It's only been a few days. I really. February 28th. On our wedding anniversary, we took a group photo and placed the stage downstairs in the bedroom. Sister, when can we move into the master bedroom? Looking at these explicit and disgusting chat records, I felt cold all over. Is this really the woman who has been with me for more than 10 years? Are these words really coming from the mouth of a virtuous wife? I don't understand. She cooks for me on time every day, and even washes my underwear and socks by hand. She says that machine washing is not clean and is prone to bacteria. Friends all say that Zhang Jianyue is the best woman and the best wife they have ever met in their lives. But reality gave me a hard slap in the face. This woman is not only not a good wife, but a complete slut. My stomach started churning and I ran to a trash can and vomited violently. The last WeChat chat. Achan, come up earlier tonight. 3. Looking at these glaring words, my eyes began to turn cold. Zhang Jianyue, let us start from here. If you like these dramas, then I will play with you to the end. After I took photos of the chat records, I replaced the lubricant in her bag with super glue. I have this powerful one. Not only can it stick to shoes, it is also very strong even for sticking to doors. If you like excitement, then I'll give you a big one. After I did all this, I put her phone back into the compartment intact and restored the items in the bag one by one. The sound of Zhang Jianyue turning the doorknob was heard. Her wet hair was casually tied behind her head. She was wearing pajamas and had sprayed perfume. It's definitely not sprayed for me. She glanced at me who was reading a book with my head down, and when she saw that I was fine, she breathed a sigh of relief. Hubby, stop reading and go to bed early. I nodded. I felt sick of any conversation with her now. I made you some calming tea. Drink it and you'll sleep well. After saying that, she brought in a cup of light yellow tea with a few rose petals floating on top. I see. I suddenly understood. Every day before going to bed, Zhang Jianyue would make me a cup of calming tea. Over the years, I always thought that I had a good sleep and slept well until dawn, but occasionally I would have a headache when I woke up in the morning. It turned out that she added something in it. Be good, honey. Drink it and you'll have a good sleep. She stared at me, as if to supervise me to drink it. It's ridiculous that I used to think this was her care. How ironic. Xiaohu bot protects files from piracy. When looking for a book robot, choose Xiaohu, which is stable and reliable, and you won't fall into traps. I want to eat some grapes. Can you help me get some? I made up an excuse to get her away. Then he poured the tea out of the window. When she came in and saw the empty teacup, a hint of excitement flashed in her eyes. Then she started peeling grapes for me and placed them one by one on the plate. Honey, I'm going to blow dry my hair, you go to bed early. I nodded, pretending to be sleepy, then turned off the lights. About 5 minutes later, Zhang Jianyue walked in quietly. I pretended to be asleep and remained unmoved. She slapped my face. Husband, husband? I snored softly and slept very soundly. Seeing that I was quiet, she nodded in satisfaction in the darkness, then walked out of the room and took her bag with her. 4. Zhao Xiaoqiang hasn't gone out these 2 days, but he lives on the first floor and rarely comes up. It was only 9 o'clock and they seemed a little impatient. I tiptoed to the door of Zhao Xiaoqiang's room and then turned on the recording on my mobile phone. There was a sudden sound of heavy breathing from inside. I'm sorry I didn't come today because of you. Zhao Xiaoqiang's voice came. Chang, I promised and I will definitely come, Zhang Jianyue's voice came. Then there was a rustling sound, and Zhang Jianyue urged impatiently. Sister, brother Lin really won't find out, will he? Zhao Xiaoqiang's tone was full of hesitation and uneasiness. Zhang Jianyue said nonchalantly. What are you afraid of? I gave him sleeping pills and he's sleeping like a dead pig now. She spoke firmly. Hee, that's great. My heart suddenly skipped a beat and I clenched my fists, wanting to rush over and beat the two of them up. But this is really too easy for them. How can it be enough to beat up two of them? What I want is their lives, so I can't act impulsively now. Sister, I'm a little scared. Zhao Xiaoqiang's innocent words made Zhang Jianyue inexplicably excited. I'm not afraid, so why are you afraid? You're lucky. But I'm still a little scared. Zhao Xiaoqiang's words aroused Zhang Jianyue's impulse again. Rest assured. Then please be careful, sister, Zhao Xiaoqiang said softly. Then there was the sound of rummaging through bags. Don't be afraid. Jiang Jianyue comforted softly. Don't pour it all in, damn. Jiang Jianyue's screams were heard, like the screams of a pig being slaughtered. To protect Shouhu's documents from piracy, choose Shouhu, a stable and reliable robot without pitfalls. Ah Chang, you got it wrong? That's right, I guess that's the effect. Zhao Xiaoqiang moved closer. At this time, two miserable voices were heard. Sister, what the hell is this thing? It's stuck together, Zhao Xiaoqiang screamed, gasping for breath. Don't move! Jiang Jianyue cried miserably, completely ignoring the fact that I was still sleeping soundly on the second floor. Sister, this seems to be glue. Zhao Xiaoqiang's voice was filled with tears. Intense pain filled his nerves, and it felt like his skin was falling off when he moved. How about trying some hot water? An even more tragic sound was heard. It's bleeding, hurry up, call 120. I sneered and left the door. Half an hour later, the ambulance arrived at the door of the villa. The two men were carried onto stretchers in a very strange posture. The nurses and doctors next to them were silent. I have been a nurse for so many years, but this is the first time I have seen such a situation. It's so embarrassing. 5. The next morning, I immediately contacted a private detective and a lawyer. On the one hand, I kept a close eye on the movements of the two people, and on the other hand, I asked the lawyer to prepare relevant materials and file for divorce. They also asked the property management to install invisible surveillance cameras in all the rooms. At the same time, all bank cards of Jiang Jianyue and Zhao Xiaoqiang were frozen. I want to make sure they don't even have the money for surgery. Sure enough, Jiang Jianyue called the next afternoon. Honey, why is my card frozen? I said coldly. There's a little problem with the company's finances, it will be resolved in a couple of days. Why, do you need a lot of money now? Jiang Jianyue said in a hoarse voice. No, I was hit by a car when I went out to pick up Xiaoqiang last night. I'm in the hospital now. I pretended to be anxious. How are you? Are you injured? I came to see you guys. Of course I had to go and take a look to see the miserable plight of the two. When Jiang Jianyue heard that I was coming, she immediately became anxious. Honey, it's not a big deal, just a little scratch. Just hire a nurse to take care of it for 2 days. You're busy with work, so you don't need to come. I sneered and nodded in agreement. Afraid of being discovered by me, Jiang Jianyue and Zhao Xiaoqiang were discharged from the hospital that afternoon. But the injuries of the two men had not been treated properly, and their walking postures were very strange. Jiang Jianyue arched his back and Zhao Xiaoqiang squeezed his legs together. The two men's faces were as pale as gold paper, and they were carrying large and small bags of medicines in their hands. It seemed that the medicines were prescribed with a credit card. I almost didn't recognize it. When they saw me, they forced an ugly smile on their faces and kept breathing heavily. How is it? Is it anything serious? I pretended to be concerned. Nothing happened. Jiang Jianyue's face was pale. If you have nothing else, go make dinner. I got up and left the living room. Jiang Jianyue and Zhao Xiaoqiang looked at each other, anger and resentment flashed in their eyes, but they could only suppress their anger and enter the kitchen. Because Jiang Jianyue has always been a housewife, and Zhao Xiaoqiang occasionally comes to help, the family has never hired a nanny. But I don't plan to eat the food they cook, I just want to discuss them. Looking at the strange way they walked, I couldn't help but laugh. Don't be anxious, this is just the beginning, I have plenty of time to play with you slowly. Jiang Jianyue naturally didn't want to stay in the kitchen, so she left Zhao Xiaoqiang alone. There was a crackling sound coming from the kitchen, and it seemed that Zhao Xiaoqiang could not bear it anymore. After the meal was ready, I found an excuse that I had to work overtime at the company and left the villa. Sitting in the car, I took out the high-definition surveillance on my mobile phone. Sister, what is going on? Could it be that Brother Lin found out? Zhao Xiaoqiang held onto the chair with a pale face. No, otherwise he would have been angry a long time ago. It must have been done by that unscrupulous boss, the profiteer. Jiang Jianyue felt equally uncomfortable. Her wounds had not healed at all. The tearing pain made every step she took very difficult. Never mind, just give me the medicine first. Okay. Zhao Xiaoqiang nodded with difficulty. Inside the room, I was shocked by the scene I saw. I didn't expect the super glue to be so powerful. The top layer of skin fell off, revealing a red wound. Blood oozed out every time I moved. It made my heart tremble with fear and I couldn't bear to look at it. Half an hour later, the two of them came out of the bathroom trembling. Looking at them, a bold idea came to my mind. I wonder what would happen if I added something to their medicine. I did it right away. I drove directly to the supermarket and bought a bottle of chili oil, a bottle of Sichuan pepper oil, and a bottle of mustard powder. They were all high-end imported products with a lot of purity. Especially the bottle of chili oil, the raw material of which was Indian devil pepper. Seeing that I came back in less than 2 hours, Zhao Xiaoqiang was very surprised and his eyes kept dodging. "Brother Lin, you're back." I nodded and went into the room. Zhang Jianyue lay on the bed like a dead dog, her body trembling, and a strange smell filled the air. My blind guess is that the active muscle has ruptured and the thin and hard liquid can no longer be contained. Obviously Zhang Jianyue's wound was bigger, and it was an internal wound. In order to avoid being discovered by me, these two people really tried their best. Don't they know that it is very easy to get infected when they are discharged from the hospital at this time? I pretended to care. "Wife, where are you hurt?" I slapped her on purpose. Zhang Jianyue immediately jumped up in pain. "Husband, what are you doing?" I looked confused. "I came here to care about you. Weren't you injured last night? How about I take a look at the wound?" Zhang Jianyue hurriedly covered her body with a quilt. "No, I just need to rest for a while." "But honey, I care about you." I sat on the quilt with a smirk on my face and curled up tightly. "Ah!" Zhang Jianyue screamed like a pig being slaughtered and struggled to push me away. But because he used too much force, he fell headfirst onto the bedside table, leaving a bloody hole on it. But she seemed unconscious, just shivering continuously, and her lips turned white. "Wife, it seems that your abrasion is quite serious," I said in a deep voice. Zhang Jianyue looked pale. "Yes, it's a little serious, honey. I'm a little tired today. Can we do it another day?" There was a hint of pleading in her words. I nodded helplessly, then took out a few tubes of ointment that I had prepared in advance from my bag, placed them next to her pillow, and said, "This is the ointment I got from Professor Huang. It is especially effective for abrasions, blue burns, broken skin, and other external injuries. It is imported and costs more than 1,000 yuan per tube. Most people can't get it at all." When Zhang Jianyue heard the words glue burns from my mouth, a light flashed in her eyes. "Thank you, my husband, you are so kind. Then you take one for Xiaoqiang as well. There's something urgent at the company and I need to go deal with it." "I won't be back tonight," I said with a sinister smile. Zhang Jianyue's mind was filled with the words glue burns. She kept nodding and agreeing, wishing I would leave immediately. 6. I went back to the car and pulled out the surveillance video. Zhang Jianyue rushed to Zhao Xiaoqiang's room in a hurry. "Ah Qiang, come out quickly, I got some imported medicine." When Zhao Xiaoqiang heard the words imported medicine, he couldn't stop shivering and thought of those bad things again. "Sister, are you sure?" Zhang Jianyue nodded firmly. "I scanned it with my phone and it is indeed imported medicine. The packaging has not been opened. He got it through his connections, so there won't be any problems," Zhang Jianyue said. I watched them walk into the bathroom, especially Zhao Xiaoqiang, whose skin was already red and swollen, and many of the broken skin areas had turned black. I couldn't help but admire his endurance. Zhang Jianyue was even worse off. Her active muscles were almost ineffective. The smell of yellow and red mixed with the ointment made Zhao Xiaoqiang couldn't help but cover his mouth and nose. Zhang Jianyue was shocked by her condition. The situation became even more serious. It was obvious that the medicine prescribed by the hospital did not have much effect. Hurry up and apply the medicine for me," Zhang Jianyue almost cried. How could she go out and meet people in this situation? She was so angry that she wanted to chop the profiteer who sold fake medicine into pieces. Zhao Xiaoqian carefully opened the scarred wounds and then unscrewed the ointment I gave them. Looking at this scene, a faint smile appeared on the corner of my mouth. Sister, why is the mouth of this bottle so big and there is a pungent smell? Zhao Xiaoqian looked confused. Don't worry about the smell, just pour it for me quickly, Jiang Jianyue urged, her tone full of anxiety. This bottle is for you, Jiang Jianyue said, and unscrewed another bottle. I remember filling this bottle with chili oil. Oh, okay, thank you. Zhao Xiaoqian nodded repeatedly. As Zhao Xiaoqiang spoke, he poured the entire bottle of ointment on it and rubbed it vigorously with a cotton swab. The next second, their bodies trembled violently. Ah! The two let out heart-wrenching screams. Zhao Xiaoqian, what did you pour for me? I don't know, ah. Jiang Jianyue's body suddenly became throbbing with veins and big beads of cold sweat appeared on his forehead. She almost screamed. Hurry, call 120. I haven't yet, Zhao Xiaoqiang said as he poured the bottle over. A fierce scream even louder than Jiang Jianyue's rang out, and Zhao Xiaoqiang crawled to the ground in pain and rolled over. It hurts. It hurts so much. The nerve distribution density in those two places is completely different. Zhao Xiaoqiang scratched desperately, the intense pain almost made him faint. This is chili oil, Jiang Jianyue, you bitch, Zhao Xiaoqiang roared. Jiang Jianyue was stunned. It's him. He did all this. Call 120 first, I'm going to hang up. Zhao Xiaoqiang stretched out his bloody hand and tapped the phone tremblingly. But his hands were too slippery to unlock the door, so he finally yelled. Xiao AI, please call 120 for me. I am here. Call 120. Xiao AI, I'm. WQNM, Zhao Xiaoqiang was furious and smashed his phone to the ground, breaking it into pieces. In the end, it was Jiang Jianyue who called the emergency number. Watching the ambulance roaring into the community, many high-rise residents poked their heads out from the upper floors. The ambulance came for 2 consecutive days, which made them curious, especially since there was quite a lot of noise inside the villa. The doctor and nurse who came were the same two from yesterday. The doctor frowned, his eyes full of disgust and nausea. You just sent him to the hospital yesterday, and you're playing with him like this today. You don't want these 2 parts anymore, right? The doctor suppressed his nausea and examined for a while, then said. It's fine now, it was necrotic, the nerves were probably severely damaged. And you, stop scratching me, or I'll be completely ruined. Hurry up and load him into the car. Notify the hospital to prepare for surgery. The doctor urged the nurse to carry the person up. The little nurse pouted and muttered, looking puzzled. People nowadays are so good at it, is chili oil really that fun? The ambulance roared out of the community, and many people leaned their heads out of the windows, looking around. 7. I called the lawyer and the private investigator and asked them how the preparation of the information was going. The private detective said that they had already checked out all the information about the 2 people, even the video of their first date, and would package it and send it to my email later. The lawyer has also prepared a complaint. There is solid evidence that Jiang Jianyue cheated on his wife. He does not work and has made no contribution to the company. He is 100% confident of winning the lawsuit. I paid the corresponding fees to the 2 people with satisfaction, and then opened my email to check their relevant information. It turned out that they had planned it from the beginning. Zhao Xiaoqian was not born in poverty at all, and he looked somewhat similar to Jiang Jianyue's deceased by Yue Guang. Zhao Xiaoqian was not a good person either. He spent his father's money and pretended to be a rich second generation in college. He changed several girlfriends while in college and participated in online gambling. He owed hundreds of thousands of yuan and was chased by gamblers every day. No wonder he moved into my house as soon as he graduated. It turned out he was trying to avoid debt. Jiang Jianyue was also very generous to him and had spent millions on him over the years. Among them, there are transfer records of Jiang Jianyue secretly transferring money to her brother Jiang Hao from her natal family, with the amount reaching millions. I slammed my fist on the seat, my face turning pale. This bitch actually spent so much money behind my back. Since you love each other so much, just tie each other up forever. I sneered and then called my lawyer. This is my hard-earned money, and I will definitely get it back. That night, Jiang Jianyue called me dozens of times, and I directly put her on the blacklist. No doubt they were urging me to pay the surgery fee. They were both penniless now and definitely couldn't afford it. The hospital will definitely not perform the operation if you don't pay. Let them hang out overnight first, so they can get a good feel for it. I found a hotel, ordered barbecue and crayfish, and a pitcher of beer. I had a delicious meal, then turned off my phone and slept until dawn. When I woke up, it was already 10 o'clock in the morning. I had a very sweet sleep and felt refreshed. It was much more comfortable than before when I woke up with a dizzy head. I turned on my phone and was still bombarded with calls from Jiang Jianyue. The next few calls were from a landline with the name X City Central Hospital on it. Then the hospital's landline called again, and I pressed the answer button. Is this Mr. Lin? I'm from the emergency center of the X City Central Hospital. I am, I replied. Your family members Ms. Jiang and Mr. Zhao need emergency surgery. Please come to the hospital to pay the fees. There are some documents that require your signature, the nurse said in an anxious tone. How is the patient? I asked. It's not optimistic. Some key parts may need to be removed. You can come to the hospital to consult a doctor for details. I stroked my chin. Some key parts need to be removed, then it seems to be more stable. When I drove to the hospital, Jiang Jianyue and Zhao Xiaocheng had already fallen into a coma. Because no one paid, they just used some simple medicines to bandage the wound. The whole room was filled with a strange smell and no nurse dared to stay in it. The doctor found me with a serious expression. Mr. Lin, the conditions of the two patients are very grim. You need to be mentally prepared. Because the infection is very serious, especially for Ms. Jiang, her muscles have completely died and ulcerated. If she does not undergo surgery, she will most likely die from the infection. Of course, there is another option, which is to completely remove it and implant an artificial one, but she may have to stay in bed for the rest of her life, but at least she can save her life. I nodded. Then cut it off. I pointed at Zhao Xiaocheng and asked, what about this? The doctor hesitated and said, this is a more serious situation. I'm afraid it needs to be completely removed, otherwise it will rot severely. Let's cut it then, I said casually. But for such a crucial position, should we ask for his opinion? I waved my hands and said, he has already fainted, how can you ask? I am his relative, listen to me, saving his life is the most important thing. On the information, my name is indeed in the family member column. I'm glad I haven't fallen out with them yet, otherwise it would not be my turn to sign such a crucial document. I quickly signed my name on the document, and then both of us were pushed into the emergency room. Looking at their livid faces as they were slowly pushed into the emergency room, a smile formed on my lips. Jiang Jianyue, Zhao Xiaocheng, I wish you good luck. Remember to thank me, I saved your life. 8. When Jiang Jianyue woke up, it was the next day. The operation did not go smoothly as the infected area was too large. In the end, the nurse came out to ask me to sign 2 more times. Anyway, the gist is that it is completely unusable and needs to be completely removed. The operation on Zhao Xiaocheng went smoothly, but he is still sleeping. Hubby, you're here. Jiang Jianyue opened her eyes weakly. The effect of the anesthetic was slowly dissipating and the pain began to come. I gave her a cold look and then threw the divorce agreement in front of her. Let's get a divorce, and you'll be kicked out of the house. Jiang Jianyue's face turned pale. Hubby, please listen to my explanation. What the hell is there to explain? Now everyone in the hospital knows what you two beasts did. I'm going to be on the headlines in X City tomorrow, I said angrily, pointing at Zhao Xiaocheng who was lying next to me. Hubby, I was just bewildered for a moment. I swear, I must love you. Can you forgive me? We have been together for more than 10 years, and I believe you have feelings for me, too. Jiang Jianyue's tears suddenly flowed out, and she cried like a pear blossom in the rain. Just because you love me, you'll hang out with the student you sponsored at home? Jiang Jianyue, do you think I'm stupid or foolish? I got angry, grabbed her collar, and said word by word. Don't you like him? I'll help you. You two, one without a front and one without a back, are a good match. I lifted Jiang Jianyue up and pulled her wound. Hubby, let go, it hurts. After a moment, she seemed to react and screamed. What's wrong with me? She reached her hand back and felt only blood. The terrified voice woke up Zhao Xiaochang, and the first words he heard were unprecedented. He was weakly about to call out Brother Lin, but something abnormal had already happened to his body and he let out a terrified scream. It's gone, all gone. He went from fear to despair, his face was extremely wonderful. At this moment, it seemed as if all his beliefs collapsed. Of course, Jiang Jianyue also collapsed with him. Lin ran. What on earth did you do to us? Jiang Jianyue screamed in horror. I took out the family consent form before the operation and threw it in front of the two of them. Because the infection was too severe, the doctor recommended that all of it be removed, otherwise my life would be in danger. The situation was urgent, so I could only sign my name. Xiao Chang, you don't want to see Jiang Jianyue die like this, right? Jiang Jianyue, you don't want to see Zhao Xiaochang die like this, right? Jiang Jianyue struggled and fell off the bed, blood immediately flowed all over the floor, and the divorce agreement fell in front of her. The scene was so ironic. Lin Ran, you want a divorce? Dream on. I will never agree to it even if I die. It's useless for you to disagree. I've already hired a lawyer to sue you. Do you think I don't have evidence for what you did at home? Jiang Jianyue lay on the ground with a livid face, gasping for breath. You, Lin Ran, you were so cruel. I smiled and said, if I wasn't cruel, I would be lying on the bed right now. Enjoy yourself, both of you. I smiled and put a new divorce agreement on the table. The previous one was already soaked with blood. Zhao Xiaochang's face turned pale, and he looked lifeless, as if he had not yet recovered. That's right, the tools used in the crime were confiscated, and it does take some time to get used to the empty space. 9. When I was about to leave, there was a hustle and bustle outside. It turned out that Jiang Jianyue's parents and younger brother came. They are also a group of vampires. They have sucked a lot of blood from me over the years. Before I saw the person, I heard him arguing with the nurse. What's wrong with your hospital? My daughter was brought here for a whole night but no surgery was performed. The nurse could only whisper. The patient didn't pay the full fee, the hospital has regulations. My son-in-law is so rich, how could he be short of your little surgery fee? You are taking human life lightly. I will sue you. Where is your leader? Ask him to come and see me. Shen's mother yelled and soon attracted everyone's attention. They looked at the family like they were idiots. The news about Jiang Jianyue had already spread to the hospital a long time ago. This family is really thick-skinned. Mom, please stop talking. Jiang Hao pulled his mother's sleeve. His phone was playing today's hot search news. It was about the dirty things between Jiang Jianyue and Zhao Xiaochang. What do you know, little brat? The hospital will only come to comfort you if you dare to make trouble. How much will the surgery cost? Any money you can get back is money you make back. Isn't your brother-in-law's money your money? Jiang's mother slapped Jiang Hao on the head and told him to shut up. Soon the noise attracted the doctor. When they heard about Jiang Jianyue's illness, they were immediately furious. What? You actually cut off my daughter completely? She is only 30 years old, is she going to be a widow? Oh my God, my poor daughter. She was completely ruined by you quack doctors. The doctor frowned. Auntie, you can't say that. The condition was too serious at the time. I don't care, you have to pay compensation, or I will file a complaint with the higher authorities. Yes, otherwise we will post it online to expose you quack doctors, Zhang's father also echoed. The doctor's face was twisted with anger and he slammed a handful of documents on the table. Look, these are the preoperative notification forms. The risks have been informed, and the family members have signed their consent. We are following the rules. It is indeed signed with my name. My sister has turned into a monster that is neither male nor female, and your hospital still wants to shirk responsibility? Jiang Hao was also angry. Keep your voice down, aren't you ashamed enough? Father Jiang slapped Jiang Hao on the head. Just when they were arguing with the doctor, the sharp-eyed Jiang mother saw Zhao Xiaoqiang's name and the operation form at a glance. Who is Zhao Xiaoqiang? Why is your hospital charging so much? You charge my daughter all the fees of other patients? Jiang's mother seemed to have found a breakthrough again. She put her hands on her hips and her tone became tougher. The news that her daughter was charged for someone else's surgery expenses soon attracted the attention of the patient's family members. Some people didn't understand and began to murmur quietly. Is this true? Is this hospital so shady? Don't listen to her nonsense, it's obvious that she's here to cause trouble. I brought some sunflower seeds, how about eating some together? Excellent, excellent. This Xiao Xiaoqiang is also a relative of Ms. Jiang, the doctor said stiffly. You're talking nonsense. My daughter is only 30 years old. How can she have a 20-year-old son? And my son-in-law's surname is Chen, Jiang's mother shouted angrily. Jiang Hao had already lowered his head. When he heard his mother mention Zhao Xiaoqiang, he knew it was over. He had read the news in advance. Mom, why don't we go see my sister first before talking about compensation? Jiang Hao said in a low voice. You know nothing. They are only willing to pay if things get out of hand. Look at his fat head and big ears. I wonder how many red envelopes he has received in private. John's mother spoke loudly, fearing that the people watching outside would not hear her. The doctor was so angry that his face turned blue and his body was shaking. He really couldn't stand this old woman anymore. He threw the video on his phone in front of her and cursed her in a voice that was almost like a roar. Look at what kind of person your daughter is, old man. The video was showing the footage of Jiang Jianyue and Zhao Xiaoqiang using 502 that night, and it was a specially processed high-definition version. John's father and mother swallowed the curse that was about to come out of their mouths, opened their mouths wide, and stared at the phone screen. This. John's mother was speechless for a moment. This thing brings disgrace to our family. John's father's face turned red and he rushed out of the doctor's office in rage. The shameful scene of Jiang Jianyue and Zhao Xiaoqiang was like a sharp knife that cut through their hypocritical veil and exposed everything right before their eyes. Now, no matter how shameless they were, they felt their faces getting hot. Amid the contemptuous voices of the crowd, the Jiang family members fled the doctor's office with their tails between their legs like dogs that had lost their homes. 10. When I arrived at Jiang Jianyue's ward, I saw me packing up to leave. Jiang Hao stopped in front of me. Brother-in-law, you can't leave. My dear son-in-law, wait a minute. It's all my daughter's fault for being ignorant. I'll ask her to apologize to you. Jiang's mother also stopped him. My face darkened. Get out of the way, Jiang Jianyue and I are divorced. When Jiang's mother heard this, her face changed. She quickly walked to Jiang Jianyue's bed and pulled her up by her hair. You're paying for it, get up and apologize to Linshan. It hurts. It hurts. Jiang Jianyue gasped. The wound that had healed somewhat opened again, and she cried in pain. Sister, you are too impulsive. What should I do if you and my brother-in-law divorce? I have just paid the down payment for the house. How can I repay such a high loan without my brother-in-law's help? Jiang Hao said with confidence and heartache. But soon, they discovered Jiang Jianyue's horrific wounds and were so shocked that they were speechless. Sister, you're playing such a big game? I'm afraid I can't handle it at all. Jiang Hao looked shocked. Jiang's mother immediately came over and pulled me, with a pleading look in her eyes. Don't be angry, dear son-in-law. It's all her fault. I heard there is a new technology that can artificially create a channel that works just like a normal one. Jiang Hao also nodded frantically beside him. Yes. Then you can do a test tube and let her give you 8 sons. I was completely shocked by their words. There is such a weird family in this world, which really opened my eyes. I used to think they were just greedy for money, but now it seems they are not human at all. How could they say such things? I repeated. Jiang Jianyue and I are divorced, don't look for me anymore. John's mother and father immediately became anxious. No, you can't leave. My daughter is already like this. What will happen to her in her future if you just abandon her? I was so angry that I laughed. What does it have to do with me what she does with the rest of her life? She messed up. You've seen the video, she will definitely leave the house with nothing. If you don't want everyone to know about this, just get out of the way. John's father and mother were obviously stunned for a moment, but Jiang Hao still refused to give in. No, my sister has been with you for so many years, you have to pay compensation for mental damage, nursing care, and nutrition. I looked at him like an idiot, then pointed at Zhao Xiaoqiang on the bed next to me and said, he is the one who made your sister like this. You should go find him. At this time, outside the ward, there were also a large number of onlookers surrounding it. Many people took out their mobile phones and started shooting videos, and some even started live broadcasts. Jiang Hao's face flushed for a while, and then he looked at Zhao Xiaoqiang fiercely. WCNM. He punched Zhao Xiaoqiang, and Zhang's father and mother seemed to have found a breakthrough and started to attack Zhao Xiaoqiang harder. If you dare to do this to my daughter, I will beat you to death. You beast, you've ruined my daughter. I'm going to fight you to the death. Zhao Xiaoqiang was beaten into a pig's head and rolled off the hospital bed, wailing continuously. It was that bitch Jiang Jianyue who seduced me. I am also a victim. I'm gone too, I'm gone. Zhao Xiaoqiang screamed miserably. Jiang Jianyue, I am now like this, it's all your fault, you bitch, I will fight you to the death. I can no longer be a man. I'm going to kill you. Zhao Xiaoqiang picked up the rack and smashed it at Jiang Jianyue. Jiang Hao kicked Zhao Xiaoqiang hard where he was injured, and Zhao Xiaoqiang let out an inhuman scream. John's father was even more insidious. He poured the box of hot chicken soup in his hand directly on it. Zhao Xiaoqiang suddenly fell to the ground, his back hunched like a cooked shrimp. The scene suddenly became chaotic. There were constant shouting, wailing and screaming. It's simply a martial arts drama. I smiled, took out my phone, took a video and saved it, then squeezed out of the crowd. 11. Later, the hospital called the police, and Zhang's father, Zhang's mother, and Jiang Hao were taken directly to the police station for investigation for sexual trouble. Zhao Xiaoqiang was sent to the emergency room on the spot, and then to the ICU after some rescue. It is said that high technology was added to the chicken soup, which caused the acute infection. It turns out that their chicken soup is bought from the street, and the soup is full of high tech. A few days later, Jiang Jianyue and Zhao Xiaoqiang became completely famous on the internet. Many anchors came to interview them and check in, and her ward became a gathering place for internet celebrities. Xiaohu to protect your files from piracy, choose Xiaohu when searching for books or robots. It is stable and reliable, and you won't make mistakes. The families of the patients in the hospital also knew about this and often pointed fingers at them through the glass door of the ward. From time to time, children would pass by and spit on the door. The hospital had no choice but to transfer her to a corner ward. The hospital sent a message. Last time they had a fight, Jiang Jianyue's wound relapsed and expanded, and even artificial ones might not be able to replace it. She asked me how to deal with it, whether to suture it completely or take a risk. Her parents are still in the hospital, so of course the choice is left to her parents. Under the dual torture of mental and physical suffering, Jiang Jianyue went completely crazy. I smashed things in the ward every day, feeling sad and laughing. The doctors and nurses were so scared that they didn't dare to get close. I suddenly felt that being a widow is not bad. Why do I have to worry about divorce? It's really a step forward and everything becomes clearer. After staying in the ICU for more than 10 days, Zhao Xiaoqiang miraculously woke up. The first thing he did when he woke up was to ask Jiang Jianyue for compensation. Jiang Jianyue, it's all because of you that I'm in this state now. Pay me 1 million, or I'll kill you. Jiang Jianyue sneered. That's because you can't control yourself. You don't have money, but you have your life. I opened my phone and skillfully entered my birthday password. I am then Zhang's father and mother rushed in and punched and kicked Zhao Xiaoqiang. This time, Zhao Xiaoqiang was not so lucky. Several of his ribs were broken, he vomited blood from his mouth, and lost consciousness after a while. When he was sent to the emergency room, Zhao Xiaoqiang died due to recurrence of wounds, excessive blood loss, liver rupture, punctured lungs, and other symptoms. Zhang's father and mother were imprisoned for manslaughter. Zhang Jianyue was so traumatized that she became mentally disturbed and incontinent, and was eventually sent to a mental hospital. She later died in her bed in the hospital because she could not afford the high cost of treatment. It is said that the walls of her room were covered with densely packed characters called lin. I just smiled and didn't care about these rumors. Because of Zhao Xiaoqiang's death, Zhang's father and mother were sentenced to 10 years in prison, and the divorce lawsuit was quickly concluded. In the lawsuit with Jiang Hao, because I submitted sufficient evidence and the transfer records between Zhang Jianyue and Jiang Hao were clear, all the money could be recovered one by one. He had no choice but to sell the house for which he had paid the down payment, and sign an installment agreement with the remaining money. When I walked out of the court, I felt refreshed and the sun was shining. There is still a long way to go.